There's a chance. So, secret to this thing turns, and then hold the trigger, now we'll turn it this this. So, shoot that button. It's already recording, so yeah. This is a different thing. So if you wanted to like zoom in, you want to do something like that, that would be focus. Again, you should need to be like right on your face. And then you know, like, so this D-pad right here is like seem easy enough? Yeah. Alright.
Welcome to chapel. We're going to go ahead and get started. We got a lot going on today. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I wanted to make one quick announcement that I've had a good amount of students come up to me asking about where they can get service hours, which is good because you need service hours. We are going to do a kind of service, not trip, but a service day, 2 days next week, March 16th and March 20th, so that's over spring break. March 16th is the Saturday of spring break, so if you're planning on traveling over spring break, you can still come out Saturday morning. We're going to go down to the Holy Trinity Thrift Shop. So if you need any hours, come talk to me today and tomorrow, because I need to figure out how many people want to do this. So that'll be on the 16th and 20th. That's Saturday and Wednesday mornings. You could probably get around 10 hours done. So if you have come to me asking for hours, here they are. All right, so announcement from Soy and Nina.
All right, so we have the talent show results in.
Please stand when we say your name. Drum roll, please. In third place is New Rain.
In second place is Leo He.
And in first place is Chantel Hope.
So for first place, there's a $100 award. Second place, $50, and third place, $25 award. So to get those, please visit Miss Dykes. A huge thank you to all who participated this year, and a shout out to Mr. Tuhill and his AV Club students for all the sound and lights.
Alright, so switching gears a lot. For those of you that don't know me, I mean, most all of you know me, I'm Nina, and I had a heart transplant in 7th grade. I was lucky that my pediatrician detected a heart murmur at my well check and sent me to see a cardiologist. After many months of testing and watching and waiting to see, I was eventually diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is otherwise known as HCM. HCM is typically the type of heart disease that athletes have who collapse on the field from sudden cardiac arrest. Some of these athletes are able to be revived, but most don't survive. I am excited to let you know that Holy Trinity will once again be offering heart screenings by Who We Play For to all of our students on Tuesday, March 12th for $20 per screening. The screening is a simple EKG test that takes 5 minutes. This simple test was one of the tests that helped identify my heart disease. Who We Play For is an organization founded by friends of Rafe Macarone, who passed away after soccer practice at Cocoa Beach High School in 2007. Coincidentally enough, Rafe had the same type of heart disease that I had. Who We Play For has screened over 100,000 people in over 300 communities across 7 states. They have identified 76 individuals that needed some level of medical intervention, including heart transplants and hundreds of others with abnormalities that can now be monitored. Doctors recommend that kids our age should have our heart screened every 2 years. It has been 2 years since Who We Play For was here conducting screenings, so it's important to sign up again even if you had it done in the past. I have met some amazing people through my journey, and 2 of those amazing people are going to be able to share their stories with you today, and why they are huge supporters of all students having the opportunity to have their heart screened. First, I'm excited to share a video about a friend of mine, Xavier, who was lucky enough to have been picked up during a Who We Play For heart screening. After the video, my friend Lexi will share her story with you too. I hope all of you take the opportunity to have your heart screened here at Holy Trinity by Who We Play For. This simple EKG test could save your life like it did mine and like it did Xavier's too.
On the outside, Xavier Hendricks is a normal young man, a successful high school football player who continued his career at Southeastern University in Lakeland. He was all set to play until he received a devastating diagnosis.
I go down to the Student Activity Center and they start screening all of us. And the results came back, and the day later, they told me that I had to go see our athletic trainer.
Xavier learned he had an abnormality with his heart for a healthy freshman in college. It was easy to feel nothing was wrong.
Are you sure that was me? I mean, did you get me mixed up with another kid? I've never had a problem my whole life. Like, what are you talking about?
But there was a problem. Further testing revealed Xavier had Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, a disorder in which there is an extra electrical pathway between the heart's upper and lower chambers that can cause a dangerously rapid heartbeat. That's when Xavier learned he would never play football again.
It was really raw to me, and to realize that this isn't what God has called me to do in my life anymore.
Xavier chose the surgical route to eliminate any further issues. His first surgery went well beyond its time limit.
The first time surgery was supposed to take 3 hours. I was on the operating table for about 6.5. So that was pretty scary to my family waiting in the waiting room.
Scary didn't begin to describe the emotions felt by Xavier's mother, Mary Ann, who remembers waiting and waiting for her son's surgery to end.
This monitor that you can look up and see the different stages of the surgery, and he kept being in procedure and being in procedure.
The surgery would be deemed a failure, as doctors were unable to get to the tissue. For a nervous family, the news was shocking.
I slid down the wall of the hospital and started crying and screaming and, not understanding why.
A second surgery came and went without success. While the problem remained, the solution was found. Doctors would again stop Xavier's breathing using a crucial 30-second window to get to that pathway. The third surgery came on November 20th, 2 days before Thanksgiving. When we met with Xavier just days before the procedure, he was convinced that this one would be his last.
Third and final time.
Third time's a charm, hopefully,
Yeah,
right?
honestly.
And it would be his last. Doctors were successful in removing that pathway. Xavier was home for Thanksgiving, thankful for his health. Xavier and his mother both agreed that since his problem was fixed, it was time to fix the problem within high school and college athletics and make sure every student athlete is given an EKG screening for just $15 per test.
That money was money that I can't even tell you was so well spent. I mean, it saved my child's life.
Mary Ann and Xavier advocate alongside Who We Play For, the organization who performs the EKG screening.
Have you ever had extreme shortness of breath or fatigue?
No. Its executive director, Evan Ernst, showed how easy the testing is by performing it on me.
We as a society failed you. You sure had this test a couple times throughout your life.
It has become Evan's mission to help save lives after seeing tragedy up close on a soccer field in Cocoa Beach.
And my little brother's best friend died on the field with us from a detectable heart condition, missing his physical.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 killer among young competitive athletes, with a death occurring once every 3 days. Evan has traveled across the country to talk to athletic directors and spread awareness.
We caught 11 heart conditions. Caught 1 life-threatening heart condition in a volunteer.
His message stuck with Southeastern's athletic director, Drew Watson.
I think you look at it from any angle, and if you're not doing this, I think you're dropping the ball.
The biggest hurdle for any athletic department is its budget, particularly at smaller colleges and high schools. Marianne and Xavier say they won't stop. This mother and son duo say the goal is to have this testing done nationwide.
We test our children's eyes and we test our children's hearing in schools. Well then, my goodness, we need to be testing their heart.
Make that domino effect in Florida, and hopefully those other states will see that, and then the whole United States will be able to make sure that's a requirement.
Last year, Xavier Hendricks' world was turned upside down. Now, with a new lease on life, he hopes to help save other athletes by speaking out from the heart. For Spectrum Sports 360, I'm Chris Torello.
I'm Lexi. Nina over here has got it all written down, looks good. Us beer people don't do that. I'm just gonna show up and say my thing. I went to Beer High School. I'm Lexi Sema. When I was 16 years old, I was running on a treadmill, doing something I've been doing every day of my life. I'm an avid athlete. It happened since I was 3 years old. Dad kicked me into the good old T-ball and cheerleading, and I've done it forever. I was 16. I worked out every day, avid runner, and while I was doing that, I actually died while I was running. Like I said, been doing something I've been doing every day. I died while I was doing that. It's kind of a total culture shock. Imagine being 16 in the middle of your high school. All my sports tryouts were coming up, and it was total culture shock. You wake up, oh, congrats, you died, you're here. And so that was total culture shock for me. The biggest thing that got me through that was definitely my faith. When something happens like that to you, I'm sure everyone in this room has been through a lot of tough things because we're all getting to that point in our lives. But the biggest thing that got me through that was my faith. I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't do anything about it. And the first time I ever talked about it, I was actually at church camp. And we were having, our meetings after our big sermons and everything. And I just kind of got up, bawled my eyes out, and talked about it. And so that's really the biggest thing that got me through here. Now I have all my people. I got Xavier, I got Nina. But the biggest thing I wanted to show to you guys is Nina, from the outside, looks like the healthiest little kid ever. I look like, the picture of health. And like I said, I was 16. I've been an athlete my entire life, and I died doing something I've been doing every day. So the biggest thing I want to take to you guys is, it's kind of annoying. It takes time out of your day, but, $20 can ultimately save your life if it does come to that. And if not, you do get, the confidence to know that, you don't have anything. So the biggest thing I want to say, there's so many statistics here. It's the #1 killer of student athletes. It's the #1 killer on campus. So that's the biggest thing I want to say to you guys today is, even if it does come down to it, it's $20, it's 5 minutes, and it can ultimately save your life. And it could have saved mine, saved Nina's. So it's the biggest thing I want to say to you guys today. So thank you for listening to me, and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Lexi, for coming and sharing your story with all of us today. All of you will be receiving a consent form next period that you and your family must complete. This test is so important because it can detect a life-threatening heart disease. Please bring in your completed form before next Tuesday. You can give it to Ms. Arter in the office anytime. This form will also be online. The link to sign up and pay will be in the Friday newsletter. Who We Play For will be here all day in the gym doing screenings. This screening takes about 5 minutes and is completely painless. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.